Okay. Well, it says it's live. I'll just wait for this to catch up.
There we are.
There we go. Hello. Hopefully. Tell us, as always, if you can see and hear us. We are still trying to sort out Taylor. Hopefully, she will join us soon. Yes, hi everyone.
Hello.
We have AJ, Bex, Jade, Jess, and hopefully Taylor soon. I'll link everybody after the live in the description thing because I am unprepared and I didn't do it beforehand. So not bad. Yes, there are more people this time. So as you probably know, and if not, then this is how it usually goes. So we basically chat a little bit on general topics and a few questions from Instagram that you guys asked us. Then we each put out a book for the next quarter. Then I just like tippity type it onto the random generator and we selected that way. The book that was suggested last time was An Ember in the Ashes, and it was my suggestion. I won for the first time. That was it feels good, man. So that means that I do not get to vote this time, which is fine. So I think we're gonna start with the questions, I suppose, yeah? Does that sound good?
Yep. Let's do it.
So Forest of Pages and Print has asked, can you talk about ARCs? How do people get them? Are they different than the final book? I don't do ARCs, but I know some of you guys do. So the ones that do, enlighten us.
I've never got an ARC, apart from the NetGalley ebook ARCs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never, but you can just like sign up to the website and just request them. I've never been sent an ARC or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I get ARCs from publishers, but it's like I've kind of built a relationship with the publisher in Australia that obviously it's a lot smaller, so it's a bit easier to get them. And all I've done was contact the publisher, sent them all my details, and they put you on like a list. Mm-hmm. And every month you get like a kind of a magazine with the books coming out, and I go in there and I pick which ones I would like to read and send it back to the publisher, and normally they'll send it my way, whether it's an ARC or a finished copy. It all depends on how many people have requested it, but the ARCs normally come 3 months in advance, a full copy 1 month in advance, depending.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me. When I request them, it's like usually with people that I already like, publishers that I already read their books, and sometimes they'll ask you if they can send you stuff, but normally it's like I get like Beck said, like an email with these are the books that are releasing from us or like sister publishing houses, and are there any you want to read? And then you can request them in like audiobook, digital, or like, you know, text or whatever. So and then sometimes they're finished and sometimes they're not. So it just depends.
So for someone who has it, because I'm assuming they probably haven't had one before, how did you start getting them, or how would you go about it if it was like your first ARC that you're requesting or wanting to get?
I sent an email. There's always like an email for the publishing house, and then you can, they usually have somebody who handles that. So when they get emails for that, they just like forward it to them. Mm-hmm. And then you just want to list where you can be contacted at, even if you already listed, like obviously it's your email, you're sending it to them via email. You want to give them your email, and then where they can find you. So like Instagram, if it's like if you're like an Instagrammer, or a blog, if you have a blog, YouTube, if you have like you're a YouTuber or whatever, just where they can find you so they can see kind of if they want to work with you and what kind of stuff they have to offer you.
Do you think they require a particular number of like reach, you know, like followers or something?
I've noticed I'm not going to say like what certain publishing house I'm thinking of, but I noticed when I hit a certain number, they started sending me stuff. Yeah, I don't want to out them because they sometimes randomly send me things, even though I've emailed them before about other books and have heard absolutely nothing back from them. And then they've sent me really random books I've never requested. Oh. I think it just
feel like unsolicited book sending is like a big problem. Not like maybe with us, but like with some booktubers, I find that they might have received a lot of things that they would not necessarily request, which is kind of shame. Like, it's a shame because obviously there's books that other people would like to read, you know, but I guess whatever. And do you get like a deadline for reading them?
Not usually.
Yeah.
I don't. Like, for me, if I have a whole shelf that just has a bunch of books that I haven't read yet, and the woman that I work with, because I work with Orbit mostly, that's who I prefer to work with. When they send me stuff, it's just like when I get around, like they'll send me whole series and I'm like, you know, this is going to take me like 4 years, right? But they still let me request more. They're like, when you talk about it, you talk about it. But that's like a smaller publisher. I feel like there's another publishing company that reached out to me recently and there's a deadline for that one. But normally I don't have them. But they're already.
We have deadlines on our end when I request them. And it's normally, you should get a review up the day it releases. If not, you've got 30 days leeway.
Oh, wow.
So you get more or less an extra month. If you don't really review it in that month, they can by rights just not send you any more that you can request. So it's probably not a deadline, more of a common courtesy. But yeah, so I try to get mine all done on time.
I love this question. It's from Blossoming Reading. Do you ever bail on social events to stay home and read?
Yes.
So just like, raise a hand if you've ever done that. Dude, once in my life, which is really bad, and don't be me and don't do that. But once in my life, at the job that I didn't like, by the way, I called in fake sick because I was so into the book. I couldn't like put it down, and I was just like, so you know, that's not a social event, but it's weird. Don't do that.
What book was it that made you do that?
Mistborn.
Oh yeah, nice. I'll allow it.
I was not like feeling the best either, but like I definitely could have gone to work. It was just like but it's
Good call.
What else was there? What's a series that started off good but got worse?
Oh.
Everyone's like looking.
That's
a tough question. Wait, who said that? Ian Biol 19? Sorry, I completely butchered that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't even know. Because I guess I wouldn't really continue with it the minute I feel it going
bad. It started good and then got worse. That's the question, though. So,
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children?
Yes, I agree.
Never read that.
I was just looking at it like, I want to say that. I was going to say Vicious and Vengeful, but that's a duology, not a series.
Is Vengeful not good?
Oh. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's as good as the first one.
I've heard it's good. Like, it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're all looking at our shelves.
I think a lot of people would have said, well, not a lot, but like it's like a 50-50 divide. I haven't read them, so I don't know. But like the not Game of Thrones. What, Game of Thrones?
No. Sorry, I was jumping in on your thought there. I thought of my own ones. Two sci-fi YA ones, potentially Illuminae, and also Sleeping Giants as well.
How dare you!
I'm with you on Illuminae. I'm so with you on Illuminae.
Yeah.
I feel attacked.
The first one was so
like,
good.
Repeat.
That's the problem.
I still like Gemina.
Gemini's the second one.
Yeah, I think I like that one a little bit better. Hello!
Oh, we see you.
Hey.
I'm gonna log on. So my phone works.
Oh no.
Oh no, now we can hear twice.
Can you put your like headphones in?
Yeah.
Oh no, she sorted it.
Yeah.
No, I can't hear you. Okay. Let's do one more and then move on onto the books, the suggestions.
Big question.
Okay. Sophia's thoughts is asking most surprising read so far this year.
Most surprising read this year.
I feel like I need to like pull out my list of what I read.
That'll be all the contemporary I've read.
Mhm.
So much fucking contemporary. Ugh.
But it's good if you like them.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think I have had a surprising read this year yet. Actually, I guess History Is All You Left Me. I thought that was actually much better than I was probably expecting it to be.
I can agree on that one. But I don't know if I read that this year. Wait.
Should I make G happy and say The Name of the Wind?
Yes, please make me
Because-
happy.
Because I loved it. But that shouldn't be surprising. But I loved it so much.
It can be like either way, I feel, with that book, but we do have very similar tastes. I'm thinking maybe. Every Heart a Doorway, but like it was surprising because I really didn't like it. Like I was expecting to really like it, and then I did it. So it's surprising in that way.
I was going to say something similar about Cinder. Like, I thought I would like it a lot more than I did.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's crap. I mean, I haven't read it yet, but like I was having hope.
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I was expecting to like it a lot more than I actually ended up liking it. But a surprising one in a good way was actually, I finished reading the Extinction Trials trilogy this week. I read both of the
Nice.
this week. And the last one, I feel, was substantially better than the other one.
I saw your rap. Like, you talking about the second one that it was like okay. I was like,
the third one was worth it. I think. Beck, have you read them?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I liked the third one too, yeah.
Yeah, surprised me.
Taylor, do we have you?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yay!
Okay.
Do you have a most surprising read?
Mine was actually I don't know if you guys know the comedian Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
You do? Okay. He had a book called I Can't Make This Up, Life Lessons, and that one was surprisingly like one of my favorite books, I think, of the year.
That's good.
Wow.
Was it funny?
It was funny, but it was also like an inspirational life lesson story. So I was going into it expecting like just funny throughout the whole thing, and then it ended up being really, life lesson, like it's in the title. It was good.
I know.
That's cool.
Gavin in the comments here is asking worst read so far this year. He wants roasting. I suppose some has to happen on this channel for the name.
I don't know if I've had any really terrible reads yet this year. I don't think.
Mine would be Save the Date by Morgan Matson.
Oh man.
That was the most boring book I think I've ever read in my life.
Oh.
It was so slow, and the main character is supposed to be like, she's like a very young teen, like getting ready to go to college, whatever. And she does, like, her sister's getting married, and the wedding planner flakes and basically takes all their money, and they have to set up the wedding by herself. I'm like, so you're telling me that all of these grown people are letting this child like basically like get all the decorations and get like the wedding going and like making sure everything works out while her parents are trying to sell the house, and like at the point, like I never DNF books because I always want to know what the resolution is, but I was like, I can't. I just immediately returned it to the library. I was like, no. It took me almost like a week and a half to read like 200 pages, and I was like,
I agree.
I was like, I don't. Yeah, it was such a. Was it you who told me that it was a really weird like slow book? I just did not like it at all.
It was just too much, like too many things going on too.
Yes, there was so much happening. There was so much happening, but it was so much that I didn't care about. It was so bad. Ugh.
I actually have a few now looking at the list. Some unpopular opinions. Who's surprised? I didn't like Sadie at all. I mean, I gave it 2 stars, But
BRB changing my book choice.
oh.
Oh no!
Oh my god, can you just drop? I'm a bit slow, it's okay.
A couple, just in case this time.
No, I just for the themes that they had, like the audiobook was great. It was like greatly narrated, but for the themes that it had, I should have cared so much more. The only thing I liked was what everyone hated, the ending. And like I really liked it, everyone hated it. So yay me. Then there's Wake of Watchers, which was our last one.
How dare you.
I have DNF'd it, so obviously wasn't the biggest fan. And then I think the last one, oh no, actually guys, I have so many 2 stars this year. I have here, I have The Gilded Wolves.
I haven't read that one.
And Every Hearted Doorway. Wow, I didn't even read that many books, and it's a lot of 2 stars.
It's a good start to the year.
I know, I'm having like the opposite of what Jade's having. Like she's having all those 5 stars, like more than ever.
This year so far for me, the lowest rating I've had is a 3-star, and they've all been just like okay 3 stars. I'm doing so well. Like last year, as we know,
and I'm
I
just sad here, like you get a 2-star and you get a 2-star.
I don't give them out 5 stars. Like I've got them to spare.
I can see, I see like people saying, no, Sadie was amazing, G. Like, I know a lot of people love that, and I can definitely see why. But for me, it was just like, I should have cared, and I really didn't. It was because it was set up in the way that we see something happen from one character, and then we follow that character's stuff from the other one, so we already sort of know what's going to happen when, whatever, it's not about this one, but it's not for me. Yes. Okay, so let's move on to selecting the book.
Oh God.
And then we can like after the Ember and the Ashes and everything, like we can stay and chat for longer if we all want to and you guys want to. But unless anyone else has like a really bad book that they've read.
Coraline by Neil Gaiman. Anyway, it's fine.
Jade, I saw her just like
I know, that's why I thought I'd throw it in quickly so we can move on.
I need a moment
Ending
to compose myself, sorry.
It's like Jade has left the chat.
Jade has ended friendship.
Okay, well, it was nice knowing you. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I might be crying, but we can look past it.
It's blurry. We can't tell. We're all blurry. It's fine. Okay, so let's go through. Oh yeah, you guys tell us as well. What were your worst ones so we know to avoid? Okay, so let us start from. I'm just gonna do what I always do from left to right, right? On what's on my screen. So AJ, you first.
So my pick book, yeah, it is All Systems Red by Martha Wells, which is a sci-fi book about an artificial robot that is a security droid, and it gains control of its self-awareness module. Basically, it becomes self-aware, and then shenanigans happen from there. But the best thing about it is it's only 144 pages, so it's a nice quick read for us all.
Very nice. Are you ready, Beck?
Look, we're just going to pick one and we're just going to go with it.
Yes.
Do it.
Okay, so I'm going with Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. It's I think it's like a historical fiction where the dead start rising up on the battlefield of Gettysburg, I think. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm going to love it. Yay. And they're trained to kill the zombies or something like that. Really bad at describing, but yeah.
Sorry. I just realized I was putting it like in the random organizer thing on the computer. But I was like, I cannot show that, so I need to put it on my phone. But Jake.
Me? Are we ready for me?
Mm-hmm.
No surprise, there's birds on the cover. But Witch Sign by Den Patrick. This is one that I actually picked up at Yelp. I think. Did AJ? Did you pick this one up at Yelp as well when you were there?
I didn't, but I do remember you getting it.
Recall me picking it up. Yeah, I still haven't read it. I've had it for so long now, and I didn't know what it was about until I just looked it up on Goodreads. And by the looks of it, it's been 75 years since the dragon's rule of fire and arcane magic have fallen, and the Emperor has like wiped out all of magic. And of course, our main character might have this magic, but the Emperor seeks all of the people with the witch sign, mark of magic, to like take them away for them to never be seen again. And our main character's brother was taken by mistake, and he then finds out what happens to the witch marked people, and it's not death and destruction, and then he has to try and like save his sister from something. Who knows?
What's the name of it again? Sorry.
Witch Sign.
And yours, Beck?
Dread Nation.
Okay. Then we have Jess, if you're ready.
Well, I had to change mine, so we're going with her on the fly.
I'm sorry.
How dare you not like a book I really want to read?
I already read it, so like you don't have to change it.
No, it's fine. Unless you don't want me to.
It's up to you. It's
Okay, I changed my mind. I chose because I really want to read this book, although I imagine some of you probably have. It's What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I don't know if anybody's read it, but I really want to read this. And
I haven't, but I also want to, so yeah.
Yeah, I've read Simon versus Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky, but I've read nothing by Adam. I've heard super mixed reviews about this, but I think like meet cute story about two boys sounds really awesome to me right now. I'm in a really weird place in my life, and I really just want to read contemporary. So this is the one that I'm choosing. I had Sadie, but I'll go with this.
And then Taylor.
I went with Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller, the daughter of the Fire King.
Yes.
The main character is to be doing like trials. She's chosen to be the leader of her village, but she fails, and her father banishes her to the forest wilderness, like filled with monsters and stuff. And she has an impossible task while she's banished there. So,
Ooh.
Okay.
A book I own, thank God.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the clicking. I don't think this is gonna. Okay. I think this is gonna just like randomize it, so whatever's gonna be on the top is gonna win.
Is that me? I'll take that. I'll take a cheap win.
It's not.
Sad.
Oh, it's me.
It's you. It's Dread Nation.
I love how shocked I was. Oh, wait. Yay!
Okay, so Dread Nation, and that would be June, August, yeah. 31st of August.
Awesome.
Or is it July?
It's July.
July, isn't it? Yeah.
Date to be confirmed then. July is complicated. So we'll confirm it on socials and stuff. But yeah, that is oh, I don't get to pick because my pick won last time. So like whoever wins skips the next one so it doesn't repeat. Yes, so I think if you guys have not read An Ember in the Ashes, like from now on it's probably going to be spoilery, so would really thank you for stopping by, but also get out because you're going to get spoiled. We're going to get in it. So, An Ember in the Ashes. So I suppose we're just going to start as we always do, just like very brief thoughts and the rating, and then we're going to get into like the little categories and stuff. So let us start with Jade.
It was one of those 3 stars books for me. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Obviously, we have the 2 perspectives in it, don't we? We've got, remind me of their names, Elias and Leia.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really didn't like Leia at all. I liked Elias a bit more, but for me, it was just very average, very I feel like I've seen this structure so many times before, but I get that it came out quite a while ago, so maybe if I read it closer to the time of its release, it would have felt a bit more original, but it just didn't for me.
That's fair enough. Beck?
I gave it a 4 stars. I really liked it. I liked one character more than the other, but I really enjoyed the whole story. I thought it was great.
Elias.
One where you have to
Elias.
say which one.
Elias, yeah.
It's always Elias.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely, for sure.
100%.
Okay, AJ?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It didn't blow me away by any means, but I don't think it was bad particularly. I gave it a 4 stars, or like an 8 out of 10. So pretty strong. And yeah, definitely Elias and Helen were by far like the best 2 characters. I didn't really get into Leia's storyline all that much, but other than that, it was great.
Jess?
I really liked it. I'm currently fighting Bunny and Chad about how much she hated it, but
I know, I'm looking. Saying enjoyed it 4 stars, 4 stars, 4.5. Bunny's like, hate it.
I feel like maybe not coming up as the right Jessica. But anyway, I really liked it. I mean, I read it probably about a year ago, but I really enjoyed it. I think Sabat is a really good writer. I really liked her writing style. I also felt like she was really brutal, but I think the thing, if it wouldn't have been dual perspective, I may not have liked it as much, because Elias really carried the story for me a lot of the time. But
we'll just take just an Elias POV.
That's all I want. Yeah, I mean, the second one's a little better, but I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I almost said 5 stars.
Taylor?
It's funny, this was a reread for me as well. I think I read it 3 years ago, and I gave it like 5 stars because I absolutely loved it 3 years ago, and then rereading it, I didn't love it as much as I did, but I still gave it like 4 stars.
I hear that.
That's fair enough. Well, I gave it 5 stars. This was like my first, I think, 5 stars, maybe this year, maybe the second one. But I think, as Jade said, it's definitely like been there, done that with the plot. So it's definitely nothing in that perspective, but I just clicked with the writing style so much. Like, I just really enjoyed her writing style, her like sentences, the way she's approached things, the way like a lot of sort of more sensitive topics were delved into or like brushed off, but like very tastefully. Oh, I just really liked it. But yeah, 5 stars to me, not like 10 out of 10, but still 5 stars. So I'm very happy with it. So that's good, because I had very high hopes for some reason.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people liked it as well, apart from Bunny. Yeah, so should we talk about characters first, then, I suppose? Anyone wants to start, just go ahead.
I mean, I think it seems from the people that have gone so far, Elias seems to be at least the favorite out of the 2 perspectives. What do you think? Which one did you prefer, G?
I don't know. Like, see, I think the person or the character that gave me like the most anxiety was Helen or Helene. I don't know which.
Helen was my favorite. She deserved
my
more
favorite too
time.
for the later books.
I like, at some points I was just like, I want to see you dead. And then at other points I was like, are you joking me? The way she was acting towards like, I understand it's because of the society and how she was raised, and that's all she knows. But like, there's something called empathy to people who are also human beings, and she was just going there, being like, "Yeah, they're nothing," like whatever. Like, why are you even talking to slaves? And I'm like, ooh.
But her character arc in that she developed.
I know. It's like Matthias from Six of Crows, but I also hated him and called him Nazi constantly. And then he grew on me, it's fine, and she'll grow as well, because she's definitely the most complicated, and I really do appreciate that. Because she's also like, I wish she was not in love with him, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not about that. But I understand it. Like, it makes sense because, you know, it makes sense. But yeah, so she was the one that gave me like the most. But I actually liked Leia as well. I don't know. I feel like a lot of you guys weren't like big fans of her.
It's not. Yeah, no, I think she was fine. I just didn't find her storyline as interesting as Eliza's one.
No, for sure. Yeah, I can definitely see it's a bit like bland and they're kind of like generic. Hopefully in the future, because I heard that books get like more and more.
It's one of those books when she like started writing it. I wish we would have, because there's like a certain point in the book towards the end where you start to get a lot of the character development that sets up the second book. I feel like she waited too long in the first one, so a lot of people got turned off because they thought the characters were kind of bland. And then when the second one happens, you're just like, holy shit! Like all of the characters have these crazy arcs. Like even Leia, her story gets better in the second one as well. Like I dislike her a lot, but I think Helene's definitely my favorite. Like her story arc. I mean, even Elias's story arc gets insane in the like even the second one. Like it's just so different from the first. I felt like the first I gave 4 stars, and I think the second one I gave 5. And that's like the first time in a long time that's ever happened for me, like reading a series.
I heard that a lot about the series that like basically anyone that I've seen talk about it was like it gets better. It's one of those series that it just gets better and better.
I guess because it like punishes the characters. So like as you get to know the characters more, it like matters more. I guess like when stuff happens.
And I just like I'm just all here for all of the unfortunate things that happen to them. I'm like torture, please. I think it like takes a lot for me to feel things in books, so I'm just like the worse the better. So yeah, who were your favorite characters? Were your like least favorite characters then?
Well, Elias, obviously, I think I just found his story the most interesting. Least favorite, I didn't really connect with any of the other rebels. I saw somebody in the chat earlier saying about Keenan as well. Like they were just kind of there. I didn't really connect to any of that whole side of things.
That is a good point. Like I never at any point I was like rooting for them. But also it was very clear that the rebels are being shifty. Like the main guy that was like the deal stuff, it was very predictable.
Has anyone else in the group read the second one?
No.
No? Okay.
Maybe Taylor?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just wondering.
You guys are just you guys have no idea.
I hope you're picking up on the same things that I'm picking up on over here. People are just talking about characters, and I'm just like, I don't like
you guys have to like bite your tongues not to say, and that you're just like you know everything.
So Keenan is my least favorite character. I didn't like him, and I thought he was just like you said, it was really transparent that he was like super shifty and was obviously up to something like the whole time. That was really apparent to me. And that really
I will say that when Leah sent another girl in her place when he thought he was meeting her, I was like, oh girl.
Sacrificed her. Why?
A little bit of a dick move, but okay. Yeah, I don't think like obviously there was a character like the Umbridge of this book was obviously unlikable, so I don't assume any of us liked her. You know, the commander.
Oh yeah, come on down. She's the best. 10 out of 10.
Did you just say she's the best?
Oh yeah, just want to go and have a casual drink with her. Sure.
I don't think she's
really chill.
But like, what sort of screwed up mother is that? Can you imagine? Wow.
I was just gonna say, we know that it's Elias's mom. I couldn't remember if that was like a second thing or.
No, we do. Yeah, from the very start. It's just so like when he is there before being executed. Oh, it's just like my biggest regret is having him. Like, thanks, mom.
Good chat. Thank you.
That's nice. Yeah. And he's like, I hate it.
She is the worst.
She did make a really good villain. Like, I'm not always up for like a very clear villain, you know, like, you know, a person you're supposed to hate. Like, I feel like no matter what in big picture I think about Game of Thrones, I think it does that very well, that like there's not like a villain, or I suppose it sort of
Joffrey.
Oh god. Joffrey's not even watching the damn show.
But yeah. So
she was good. She was good.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to say that I didn't really like any of the characters. Like, I say I liked Elias's perspective more, but that was because of his plot, not his character. I still didn't like the character of him. I just felt like what was going on there was more interesting. I didn't feel connected to any of them, didn't particularly like any of them.
That's a shame. It always is when someone doesn't like a book,
Yeah.
Who were your favorites, guys, in the comments? Let us know. Should we move on to, I don't know, the world building, I suppose?
That's probably one of the parts I thought was the weakest, to be honest. I never really got an overwhelmingly strong sense of place, and it probably doesn't help that I came off the back of reading Priory of the Orange Tree, which is extremely detailed in that, well, kind of detailed in that respect, but I felt there was a lot of depth to the world that we maybe didn't see that I could have done with more of.
I'll agree. I think the world building wasn't the strongest. I will say that atmospherically speaking, I always like the whole garrison bit. Is it garrison?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Place that they're at. I had that in my head, like I could paint it, like it was very clear. But for the whole world, like the magic system, I still don't really know what it is. But like I know it's a series, so it's gonna expand. But for this one, like this book in particular, it wasn't the clearest. Yeah. But at the same time, it didn't stop me from understanding what's happening or enjoying the book, because I felt like I had information that I needed. And that is what's very important for me. So also, someone just mentioned Izzy in the comments. I completely forgot about Izzy. She's like the sweetest.
True that.
There's so much I want to talk about that I can't talk about.
Becca is saying, I thought the world building was adequate. I had an okay picture of things, but it wasn't awesome.
It does get better in the later books, though, because they leave, they get out there a little bit more, and you get more of a sense. It also doesn't help that it takes place, like, in the desert, and it's, like, it's brown.
It's a desert.
It's brown. Yeah. More brown. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the compound that they were in was sort of intriguing, but yeah, even in the first one, I think when I first read it, I thought the world building was really great. Like, because I obviously didn't reread it, so I just looked up my review. But going back, I think like having read the second one and part of the third one, I can tell how it gets better, and I've read books with better world building since then. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I could take a point off for the world building, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It gets better.
For sure. What do you guys think about the plot?
I thought it was fine. It wasn't the most sort of overly complicated. It was fairly straightforward, I thought, most of the way through, but not in a bad way. I don't think this book did anything bad, but it wasn't sort of an intricate, crazy plot, I didn't think. I thought it was just solid.
I've got to agree with that. It wasn't bad, but it was very simple. It was predictable in the best sort of way. It was very much a 1, 2, 3, there we go. Nice and simple.
It sets up the second book really well, but I feel like it shouldn't have to. I feel like a book should be able to stand by itself as like a book, and not just like, because if your first book is like just okay, our TBRs are like miles long. Like no one's gonna pick up an okay second book, if you know what I mean. But like I said, it's one of those series that I think most of those things she definitely improves on in the second one. But
it's like like I mentioned to you before, G. Like there was maybe a little bit of lack of like magical action stuff that I think would have done good for the world building and the plot as well at the same time. We just show off a bit more of those two things.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it was just like a really nice, like it's a very valid point what you just said, Jess, like it really should stand on itself. Clearly it did for me. But I just felt like so gently introduced and not overwhelmed, but also intrigued and just like rooting for people. So it was just like for me, but I can definitely see what you guys are saying.
I promise everything that people don't like is better in the second one. like the world, like everything is just better in the second one.
Jessica is also saying you get more magical creatures in the second one.
That's me.
I'm
Jessica.
What? No, that's not your logo though in the comments.
Look at the comments.
Oh! I thought it was your like YouTube thing. Roasted.
I promise it's me.
You never go by Jessica either, so I'm just like, I thought.
I was hoping no one would ever figure out that's my actual name because people are like, "Your name's Jess, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, it is."
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was definitely more of a like character-focused thing for a lot of it than a plot-focused one.
Which makes sense why I liked it. Yeah, there wasn't really a lot of magic. I felt like a lot of magic, like if there was any magic, it came from like external things, like during their tasks, like when they were fighting these desert creatures. Oh, actually, I really liked the task where they all were dumped in a desert. I thought that was like very vicious.
I did like the last task where they had to kill each other as well. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was really, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I found that so funny.
I do like that. It was very dramatic.
Yeah.
He was just like, I really liked that part where they were dumped in the desert.
You just saw a piece of my soul there.
I just thought like, this is the type of like epic challenges that are really hard that I thought you would have to face in like Throne of Glass, because it says like, oh, you have to go through like a lot of challenges and the best one wins, and then it's just like I was prepared to those kind of like tasks, and it was like shoot a bow, and I'm like,
Oh,
¿Qué pasa? It's just like, yeah. If you would be basically pushed into a desert, do you know what your task would be? Because it's like your fear. If this is too easy, you don't have to go there.
Eat some cucumber and fish. Not about that life.
I'd be dumped in the ocean and not a desert.
So maybe you'd just be very safe in the desert.
There would be frogs everywhere for me, and it'd be horrific.
You're afraid of frogs?
Yep.
Lives in Australia, is surrounded by dangerous creatures, is afraid of frogs.
Afraid of the one thing that can't kill her that lives there.
I know, and I get so angry because it's the worst one, because I know it can't hurt me. Still petrified. It's very sad.
I'm so with you on that. The one thing that I am absolutely petrified of cannot hurt me, and that is daddy long legs. Cannot.
I knew this before, but it just doesn't like stop amusing me.
Like, if there is one in a room, I will break down. Just if one comes in the window, I am a absolute mess.
Yeah, me too, mate. I understand.
Because they just like can't really control their legs.
Please don't. Please don't.
Too. They just kick. It's funny.
Funny. Funny.
Funny to you. I don't think I'm afraid of any like. I mean, there's things that I'm like I would rather not. Like massive cockroaches.
But.
Like I would rather not, but I wouldn't be like petrified. I don't know what my task would be. Oh, Brina is saying mine would be the same as Helen's. I hate heights.
Yeah.
Someone said pigeons. Lauren said pigeons. Interesting.
Does Lauren live in New York?
But in America, you just got a really big birds. Like, our pigeons are half the size of your pigeons.
Our birds are assholes.
With spiders.
I used to work with pigeons. Pigeons are alright.
Oh yeah. Gosh. Okay. What else is there to speak about? What was your like favorite scene?
Where they all killed each other.
Where they all died.
Jade's like, when the book finished.
Oh god.
I don't know my favorite scene.
I did think that was a good bit though, like with Marcus when he like killed his brother. I thought it was quite a good scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it must be like for me. I think it was the desert one, but also the last one when they like rush into battle and then realize that they're against like their friends.
Yeah.
And I think it was just so. Oh, it was just so good when I do not know the terminology. The rest of them are waiting for the command of his, and then he has like he gives the command to like attack but not kill, but then he witnesses them dying because of his command, and it's just such a mindfuck. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I am with you on that. That was a good.
It was the peak for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for more of that kind of stuff because I know she's like known for like putting her characters through a lot of stuff. So I'm just like sad here.
It happens.
I don't know, just really like when you have to like sit and think about like what would you do in that situation, it's like impossible. There's no winning obviously in that, but yeah. Do you guys
think there was any good scenes outside of the trial things?
I wish I didn't read this in the beginning of
I wish I could read it a year ago.
See, I literally finished it a few minutes before we started this stream, and I was thinking that I don't think there's a lot of like powerful big scenes in there, like especially outside of the trials.
Yeah.
Like I know it is, again, like we said, it's a lot more character focused, so maybe that it's like it more intentional that they did that, but yeah, there's not a lot of big scenes, I don't think.
No. I did basically enjoy, it's not like a particular scene, but the whole like Izzy line, or when they sneak out for like a dance party, what it basically was. It was very heartwarming, I don't know. And she got to eat like a cake, and she was like, hell yeah, cake. You know?
Yeah.
Like a poor girl that's basically like living in fear literally every second of her life. I'm assuming like porridge is the best that you can do there. And you know, it's just like, I don't know, it just really hit me in the feels. Maybe it's because it's related to food. And I'm like, oh my God, get the cake. I don't know, because it was such a like a contrast between their life as slaves and people of technically the same status outside of the wall. And it was just such a like, there's just them escaping for one bloody hour or whatever it was, and just having such a massive difference in like life quality. It was, I don't know, I think I just like contrast. when it's like shown like that, it just made me like really sad but happy for them, you know.
Yeah,
because it's a happy scene, but like underneath it is very sad because it shouldn't be that happy, you know.
Okay, like the final bit with her tied up as well. I guess again it's another ending scene, so it is another big action scene. But when Marcus does come back, and where Helen and Elias are fighting over what to do, over whether to kill Leia or not, I think that's quite a big scene as well. Good one.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know still what to feel about Helen. I don't know. It's just very hard for me to understand.
But like, I mean, it's true though, because like when I don't know whether I should say it, it's kind of spoilers for another thing, but like what she was saying made logical sense. Like the good that those two could have done if they had have taken control is probably like a lot better than the alternative of what happened. So
yeah, no, for sure. No, I'm not like in that part. I actually agree with her. Like when looking logically, I'm just like I was talking sort of like in general about her, because I know she wasn't like kind to any of the slaves before, because she's very like sort of like very hard traditional kind of person, right? And very much go by the rules and whatnot. And I don't think that she would ever have helped Leia when she did with her like humming healing stuff if it wasn't for Elias. But I also don't think like dislike Leia as much as she did if it wasn't for Elias either. So there's definitely that jealousy thing going. I think it's the jealousy that I don't like the most. It just really like grinds me. I wish there wasn't like a triangle photo, like a V, two of them.
Yeah, that one really annoyed me because it's like everybody had a love interest, but then they had each other as well. And I was like, we're in a square and I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. So that was
I don't think
the part that I really could have done without.
Yeah, me too. And Keenan was his name?
Yeah.
The other love interest. It didn't like it just I was like, that's shit and it doesn't make sense and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. For at least for Helen at some points I was like, yeah. But then like with the other one I was just like
But then Elias was conflicted too, and I'm like, is she your friend or is she not? Like, make up your mind, because
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Just doesn't
flip flopping going on for sure.
yeah.
I can understand that. It was complicated.
Yeah.
Marcus is a giant piece of shit. Jess,
What?
I love your comment in the chat.
What about Marcus being a giant piece of shit?
Yeah.
Well, he was a giant piece of shit.
True that. True
I
that.
didn't want to say it in the video that will later be up, but I felt okay putting it in. Marcus guess what's coming.
Yeah, precis saying I thought this scene where Marcus almost raped and assaulted Leia was really heavy. Oh yeah.
Hence my Marcus is a giant piece of shit comment.
No, he is.
With Marcus, though, because obviously he won at the end, I'm really intrigued by what that's going to result in.
Yeah.
And I think,
obviously, yeah, some of you probably know way more than some of others, but I feel like there's definitely going to be some sort of meltdown. I also think that whatever is controlling him is going to gain way more mental control over him. So at the end of it, it's probably going to be like a shell through
He
it.
was
Like
my
that.
favorite character in the second one.
Sorry?
Unfortunately. Hate him.
Yes. What else?
I feel like,
Becca did the audiobooks in the comments, and so did I, and I actually really liked the audiobook.
do they have like sounds and stuff in that audiobook? Like wind and...
They didn't in the one I listened to.
No. They had the two different like two different voices for the main characters, but that was it.
Oh yeah, I listened to like 10% and then read like the rest. But was this the one with where the guy sounds like a robot?
What?
Maybe
He
not.
didn't in mine.
I didn't get that vibe.
Maybe it's a different book. It's fine. Maybe it was the
Leia. Yeah. Leia in mine sounded very young. Like her voice didn't contrast with his voice, and I assume they're the same age. I probably should remember that, but she sounded very.
No, he's a couple of years older, but like probably
But not enough to sound like a child. He's definitely like, you know, at an age.
20, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Or 22 or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Gilded Wolves. Okay, sorry, my bad. A guy legitimately sounded like, you know, that program when you put on Google and it reads it?
Oh gosh.
That was not pleasant.
that's how you do an audiobook on a budget.
Just like a Kindle and just reads it to you. That would be hilarious. Okay. Do we have anything else to speak about? Because if not, we can move on into the other things as well. But any final thoughts, really? Anything in particular you're looking forward to? Actually, are you going to read the second one? That's the question.
Yeah, I'll definitely read the second one for sure.
I think I might.
I think I will, but maybe not for like a year.
Mm-hmm. Just so you're actually going to like reread it, or just like, oh, was that a joke?
It was a joke.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
I'm going to quit my read of the third one to go read the second one real quick.
Isn't there going to be a fourth one now?
Yes, thank God.
So,
Yeah.
how long is the series?
4 books.
Oh, it's
It's
4
3
books.
right now.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
the last.
it's 3 right now. The 4th one's about to come out.
The last one. Also, we're reading this in time. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm excited to see what happens in the next one, though. I want to see what happens with Helena's Bloodstrike,
Yeah.
whatever that name is. I want to see what happens with her.
Is
Yeah,
this the
being
first
that.
time that no one's DNF'd the book that we've read?
Oh,
Nice.
huge, huge.
Probably.
This is a momentous occasion. No one DNF'd
What a moment.
it. I'm so proud of us.
Funny.
Look at us go.
I'll read the second one after I finish rereading the miniatures. Wow.
The sass. Oh my God, Bunny.
Yeah. The likelihood of any of us rereading the miniatures is just Hilarious.
0%.
From us.
I sold that book. I don't even own it anymore.
I gave it to the, did I? To the
I think
charity.
Em liked it, but
Yeah, I think she did. Not loved though. Tolerated maybe is the word. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, I already forgot the name.
Dread Nation.
Dread Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Who's it by?
Is that a pirate one?
I think so.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it? I think.
No,
Is,
I
is
don't
it?
think it's pirate.
Is it not?
no, it's. Oh, I'm sorry, my dog's barking.
Oh, it's Civil War. That's right.
Diesel.
Yeah, Civil War and zombies.
Was I not muted?
It's just
My
the
bad.
voice when you get like very angry at your pet.
I'm sorry, I thought I muted it.
That was hilarious. Diesel. Did you know that I thought she named her dog after like Van Diesel? But
No.
well,
No.
well, I don't know any more Diesels.
I don't either though. Now that
Yes. So yeah, we will confirm the date, but we can chat for a little longer if you guys have any questions for us with anything really, the book or outside of that.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
That's right.
Can't hold it anymore. Sorry.
I just looked up Dread Nation. It sounds amazing. Need to order it ASAP. Ooh, what is the rating on Goodreads? Let's.
It's over a 4.
It's over 9,000.
Because I know we have to go over a 4 now.
No, I didn't say that.
Don't we need to do that anymore?
No,
Oh. My pick would have been completely different.
that was just the last fun thing to do.
That's fine. Next time.
But it is over 4, so hey.
It is.
I think it was because of the cover that I thought it was
Same.
a pirate thing.
No, I think
Oh, it's under the
6.
genres. It says horror.
Oh, does it?
Horror
Oh,
zombie.
that's nice. I knew it was zombies because they raise from the battlefield, but
Oh, interesting. I'm intrigued.
I feel
So,
like
yeah,
that's
there's
a
like-
spoiler. I feel like that's a spoiler. Oh no, it does say it in the blurb. Fair.
it
I
says
mean,
it in the blurb. I'm not gonna.
I just
I'm
like
not
read a
gonna
few
spoil.
sentences and then I nope out of blurbs. It's too much for me.
Mm.
I hope it's good.
Bunny is wanting to know what other picks Becky had.
Oh, okay. Sure, Bunny. They're on the floor. I would have done Warcross by Marie Lu or Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa.
Mhm.
But at the last minute, I chose Dread Nation. And the reason I was tossing up is because I know Jade doesn't like zombie books. I'm sorry, Jade.
So I picked it.
I mean, you know,
I picked it
I'm not
anyway.
into it. I'll read it. Maybe it will surprise me. I'm not like opposed to these things completely. I'm just
It might be
opposed
the
to,
DNF.
I'm just opposed to contemporaries. So I'm glad yours won and not Jess's.
Aw.
Yeah,
Also,
true.
we are very welcoming to like DNFing in this club, clearly.
Yeah.
You know, it's always fine.
As I said, this is the first time we haven't DNF'd the book.
I think so.
Go
Did
team.
anyone DNF Nevernight though? I don't remember if we did.
I
Yeah,
love
a couple of
Nevernight.
people didn't finish it, I think.
Someone asked, how are we doing with our owls?
Poorly. Poorly is the answer.
Yeah, I'm with AJ. I
I'm
just need to
okay.
finish one more book.
I'm very struggling with my current read. Like, I don't know what is up.
What are you reading?
To Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, and I really enjoyed the beginning, but now I'm just like, why? Just going through some bits where it's just like, is there a plot? Like, what's happening? Like, yeah, it's complicated. Logan was just like, just watch the movie and say you read it.
It's like school all over again.
Yeah. Nah, we do not play that way. What else?
I'm a winner. Yes, thank you. It was the Priory of the Orange Tree. That was a tough
Oh,
I
yeah.
am amazed that you
It's
read that
so big.
your owl.
I know. It's such a smart choice for a reason.
Yeah.
You are a
The
wise
smartest of
man.
choice.
Did you like it?
It was pretty good. It was solid. I think I was underwhelmed from the hype train that it had behind it to start with, but overall it's like a really good epic fantasy, especially considering it's a standalone. Normally people are turned off by these massive epic fantasy series because they're like 1,000 pages and 10 books, but this is just one book. So it is big, but you can do it and have a complete story. So that's pretty good.
In stars?
In stars, it was kind of on the cusp of a high 3 to a 4. I think I'm going to settle on. I'm going to be generous and settle on a 4. I think for me.
What did you give it, Jade? I remember you talking about it, but I can't remember what you
I
gave.
gave it 5. I really liked it. I think the fact that I read that beast in like 6 days, for me, it takes me like a week
Wow.
to read 200 pages normally, but I read that in 6 days. And I think that speaks volumes for it, but also I really enjoyed all of it, the world building. I hate romance, and the way that the romance was done actually suited my tastes. So that as well. Also, dragons and the magic I thought was amazing. And I didn't hate any of the perspectives. And for a multi-perspective book, that also is incredible, because normally there's at least one that you kind of like, but there wasn't.
I felt there was like stronger POVs than other POVs, though. No, do you not think there was like ones you like slightly preferred, maybe?
There were ones that I preferred, but there were
Yeah.
none that I thought were a slog.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll agree with that. I think you'd enjoy it, G. It is definitely
Yeah.
character focused and slower paced in parts.
I feel like the majority of people like really enjoy it, but they always say that like first 200 pages is like really hard to get through, and I'm like, that's 200 pages. I read slowly, girl. Like, that sounds like a lot of effort.
The first couple of 100 pages are very much setting up the like politics and getting to grips with where everyone is.
I think it was like the switching of perspectives at the start was like hard for me to settle into. Once I'd settled into like the rhythm of everyone's POVs, then I was fine.
Because I'm just like, I understand that this is a big book, so like percentage-wise, not that much, but 200 pages is a lot of pages. So I'm just like, I don't know, maybe that's one day.
I've learned that I really like political intrigue in books, so I didn't not like those 200 pages, but there were moments where my head was kind of a bit like, I'm sorry, where were you again? I'm confused.
Yeah.
But
we feel
once, like I was constantly flipping back to the map, and I never usually refer to maps, but I was constantly flipping back to work out who was where.
That sounds like I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna feel dumb and
No, it's not that. No, I think you'll be fine.
I struggle with a lot of names because apparently I'm simple like that. How good is Dark Matter? Wow, I just read it for my hours. It is good, isn't it? I still think it's one of the best books I've ever read.
I still need to read it.
Yeah, boy.
Has anybody got any anticipated reads for the rest of the year?
The second to the Ember and the Ash. I'm very happy because I haven't had a book that I really liked in a long time, so your girl needed a win.
I'm excited about Dark Dawn with Jade Kristoff.
Yeah.
I need to be the second one for that.
When is that? It's at the end of the year, isn't it?
September or Stabtember, they say on Twitter.
Ooh. Stab.
September. Yeah, there's actually quite a few books that I want to read, so that's good. That is a good thing.
I feel in the mood to read The Poppy War now. It's been on my shelf for a while, and I think that's going to be the next one I tackle.
I feel like
Jade
read that too. Like it because from what I understand, it's fairly political. From what I understand, no, yes.
Tell me more.
I think so.
I don't actually own this book. I saw the hype for it and then got scared, so I didn't think about it.
I think it's like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
miscommunicates. So I see Beck has that there. So
Yeah, I would say it's political.
yeah. Oh, have you read it?
Well then,
No, I have not read it, but I want to read it.
if it is political, count me in.
I think it is, but obviously I haven't read it, so could be wrong.
If anyone in the comments has read The Poppy War, let us know.
Oh yeah. Amy's saying she's looking forward to Dark Dawn 2. Third Renegades book. Oh, that was Bunny as well. Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. She's the author for the Night Circus.
Ciao.
Alex Vera series this summer. I have not heard of that before.
Alex Versus, yeah.
Oh, Danielle is saying Poppy War was very good. Doesn't get political till the second half though. But like the second half is still big, no? Because it's a massive book.
It's 500 pages, I think.
Poppy War is on script. That's good.
Nice.
I've fallen in love with Scribd lately in terms of ebooks. So if there's an ebook of it on Scribd, I'll probably do that.
I just really found it like recently whenever I want to find the book, I actually find it on Scribd, which is like, you know, like for audiobook.
Well, I'm hyped for Queenslayer, actually, the next book in the Spellslinger series.
Yes!
That one.
I need to get on that train. I feel like I like it.
Are we buddy reading that one, AJ?
We can do, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I'm down for it.
Awesome.
It's soon, right? It's next month.
Next month, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Bunny, Gina, I like your username. Gina Pumpkin Ear. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Cassandra is asking, could someone give me some contemporary recommendations? I feel like this is a question.
Not me.
Jess, you're up.
What? For contemporary?
Hello.
Library, and I'm like, where's the contemporary section?
They asked for contemporary recommendations.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Neanderthal Opens the Door to the Universe, which I'm pretty sure Bunny's talking about right now.
Yeah. And so.
Neanderthal Opens the Door to the Universe is like a YA contemporary. If you want a YA contemporary. I've been reading a lot of adult contemporary.
I think the highest rated one that I've read, which I mentioned earlier, is History Is All You Left Me. It is a book about grief, basically. So if you want to read about grief, then I think it's a really good book. It does that really well.
It's fairly, like, it's definitely not a fun read per se.
Yeah.
Fairly,
I mean, it's about grief. So,
so just bear that in mind. It's definitely morbid, I suppose.
I liked Autobiography by Christina Lauren. That was good. But I'm not big on contemporary either.
Oh, someone just finished Spellslinger for their owls.
Nice. It's good.
Because honestly, I think I would prefer adult. I want to cry. You can cry in the young adult as well sometimes. Not me, but... Do you have any adult contemporary recommendations, Jess?
I like most things that Christina Lauren writes. I know Bunny's going to disagree. Just wait for her comment in the chat. But most of what Christina Lauren writes is really good. She does YA contemporary. She did autobiography. Well, they did autobiography. And then they have a lot of adult contemporary books as well. I mean, they have one series that I'm pretty sure is just smut. But they have other stuff like my favorite Half Night Stand.
What's the name of the smut series again? Just asking for a friend.
I can't remember. I'm not ready for that part of their writing yet. But I liked Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating is my favorite book of the year so far. That's the book that Bunny hated. But I really, really liked that one because I felt like Hazel was I feel like their characters are really good. Like if you like characters and you like funny, witty characters, you'll really like their books. But they do have some like heavy topics in them, but they're handled in a serious way, but the rest of the book is really lighthearted. So it's one of those fluffy books that you can read, but also has like a good message behind it for most of what they write. I've only read one book by them that I didn't really like. So, and I read most of their stuff this year. except for the smut series, which I will apparently be buddy reading with AJ.
You guys with detailed.
I'm down.
We'll do our
Get
own
ready
live.
for that review. That review is going to be steamy.
Chris is saying, well, it's actually a historical fiction, but The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna is so good.
Well, I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people saying it's making them cry, so I've got that ready to go.
With the tissues prepared.
Oh yeah. Wait, is that the steamy book or?
I was about to say it, but you know, I tried not to. There you go. It's okay. You're just not gonna monetize this. About I don't think I've read any contemporary that I would like strongly recommend. I mean, I still really like Eliza and Her Monsters. Like, I just really like that book. So actually that.
I think Eliza and Her Monsters is one of the only contemporaries I've liked.
AJ, you here?
I'm here. Hello.
Oh, I can't see that.
Oh, you vanished for a second.
I'm here.
Oh? But yeah, the Eliza and Her Monsters is basically about this girl who secretly runs a comic book, like an online comic book, but it's like really massive. But it's a lot about mental health as well. That was a great description. You're welcome.
Oh, I actually do have some contemporaries that I've read. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I really enjoyed that one. I think that was pretty good. Really interesting narrator as well. And A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Backman.
I will never read that because I think it would destroy me.
It was great. It was fantastic. Loved it. Definitely read it.
It's because it's like it's about old man, and I know it's just like judging from things like Up, I cannot handle that.
It was really good. So and like that author, I want to read more of his stuff. I know Beartown is another one that everybody really raves about by him, and yeah, I want to read those.
I also really liked Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I do want to check that out because apparently it has very... Why am I so blurry? Yeah. Because apparently people say that it has good anxiety stuff. So I want to check on that. I don't usually do that kind of thing, like, you know, just because it has some sort of thing that I'm going to go for it without knowing the plot, but I will on this one. Cool. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions for us, I think we're going to skedaddle. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys are going to enjoy the next one. As I said, we'll let you know when the next one is, but it's going to be like end of July probably, or very start of August. We'll see. There's animal abuse in there and Radio Silence. Okay, pal.
So no.
There goes that one. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Do you guys have anything else to add?
Nope.
Good.
All good.
Okay. Thank you all for joining, and thank you for joining and watching and chatting with us, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Love you all.
Bye.